Hello, and welcome to Merlin's Barn, still broadcasting to you from Fort Blankets, south of the Yukon. And wow, I didn't screw it up 3 times that
Yay!
time. I'm proud of myself. I'm going to give myself
It's spooky season here at the barn.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to try not to wait an entire year to release this episode, so look forward to some Halloween tales come, I don't know, St. Patrick's Day, Memorial Day, sometime.
This could be, well, it could also just be end up being for the lack of pre-recording any Christmas episodes. We've done Christmas in July. We can just do spooky season in December.
Year's.
Or New Year's, yeah. So
It's always spooky season. Shut up.
okay.
So yeah, we have some different topics tonight. We've got some pet rats and some skeletal cats and
Non-skeletal cats and possible discussion of the cat distribution system.
And the rat distribution system.
Yes. And wait a sec. We've already established that we've lost Hot Todd, haven't we?
We didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh.
yeah. If you haven't figured out by now, we've not quite been able to get Todd here for an interview. Thought we had it this time. We were so close. He chartered an aircraft this time, the Nolan Dakota Flying Service. Like, he wasn't even flying like a regular commercial, and it wasn't that weird Jolly Club from last time. He actually chartered his own airplane this time.
Out of an area where so many airplanes just crash because they're tiny airplanes held together with duct tape and baling wire.
And so now this was an international flight apparently.
With duct tape and baling wire.
He was coming from where though? This is an
I
international
would
flight,
put him
right?
down as Dawson City. Different from Dawson Creek in the earlier Alaska Arrest episodes, depending on whether this shows up before those or after those or during those. And so, I'm theorizing. I forget which hotel it is at, but I'm theorizing that he is sitting there with his sourdough cocktail.
His what cocktail?
His sourdough cocktail. I believe that's the name of it.
I'm afraid to ask how this is spelled. It's not T-O-W, is it?
Sourtoe.
So not T-O-W?
Sourdough. I
Oh.
think that's it. You get a certificate for drinking it, too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you get a prize?
Yeah, you get a prize. So what this is and there used to be this, I don't know if the guy's alive anymore. The guy who found the toe originally, there's like photos of him.
I was about to ask if we got the toes from the same guy.
So is that spelling of okay?
We're doing a little bit of mythology off the top of my head, but this is true. There is the sourdough cocktail, and you can get it in Dawson City. You get a certificate, and what it is originally it was a toe that this one fellow found, I think in like a miner's cabin. It was like probably a frostbitten toe that had come off, as toes do when they are no longer alive. And he brought it back, and
Well, you gotta hack it off. It's gonna get gangrenous. You don't want that spreading.
Maybe it just fell off. Just sitting there, singing to itself.
To choose your own adventure. Which one is
foot.
more disconcerting?
And so the guy brought it back, and somebody, because it's Dawson City, and it's ice locked, and it's absolutely not even nowhere, not even next to nowhere, not even heard of nowhere beyond any of that. I'm assuming that it was in the winter sometime that somebody came up with the idea of we should put this in some whiskey and drink this cocktail, which is basically whiskey with a toe in it. And you get your certificate if you drink it and the toe touches your lips.
That idea sounds like it was brought to them by whiskey.
Quite possibly,
Probably
because, I
was.
mean, if you talk to our lovely producer, John, and his wife, Bonnie, who are both from Wisconsin, and talk about the deep, cold winters, John is a wonderful bartender for a good reason.
I was about to say, Canada. It's like Wisconsin, but even less to do in the winter.
Yes.
How did they initially preserve the first toe?
Whiskey. Well, also,
But
it
it's
was
also
like,
eventually gonna...
it was dried.
Okay, that's the answer that I needed. Thank you.
He found this dried, or this desiccated toe in the cabin.
But still, even if it's dried, it's going to eventually decay because you keep putting it in liquid.
Well, it's whiskey, though. And so, by the way, they're on their second toe.
No!
That's disturbing.
You want to know what happened to the first toe?
Not really, but you're going to
I've
tell me
learned it
anyway.
did
'cause it's
decay.
Halloween,
You don't get your certificate if you swallow the toe.
Wow. Wow. You told me this in a pre-show, and
I'm
going to
take a moment and just describe the expressions on Nicole's face. Eyes closed, mouth drawn down in a very, very angry, sad. At the same time, body language of having given up and not wanting to have heard any of this.
For the second time.
Definitively showing, I wish I had never heard this in my life. And at the same time, questioning life decisions that led her here. She's nodding in agreement.
There's a lot of really big life decisions that led you here too, honey.
Much questioning.
But that's the
Trying to
sourdough.
figure out who walks into a cabin and goes, oh, look, it's a desiccated toe. Let me take it home with me.
Have you ever been alone by yourself for 40 days of winter?
So,
These were the guys who who are like, they're stuck alone in these cabins. I've read about the miners there being stuck alone in these cabins for just like for like a month or two alone on end, with their only entertainment being like licking the frost off of the walls for moisture.
Is it the Jack London story? He just crawls into the stove to stay warm.
No, that wasn't Jack London. That was Robert W. Service. The cremation of Sam McGee. Which he really ticked off. So this was not supposed to be a Yukon episode.
Here we are.
Service was, he ended up, I think he was first in Whitehorse, which is currently the capital of the Yukon. And then he ended up as a bank teller up in Dawson City, which is way the hell north of that. And he actually met a fellow named Sam McGee, who I believe was a sort of like a river guide. So when he came up with the idea for this wonderful poem that I wish I had a copy. I wish I had it right in front of me because we can read it because it's out of copyright. My father memorized this in high school. And when he came up with the idea for it, he just used Sam McGee's name. And people kept finding Sam McGee in Whitehorse after that. And Sam McGee was rather a little bit ticked off by all the people tracking him down over the cremation of Sam McGee, because neither was he cremated. What is it?
Oh, I love the Poetry Foundation.
Did you find it? Oh, here we go.
Of course I did.
I was going to say, do you want to put that at the end?
Well, we're sort of here now. Do you want to just do it? I mean, I don't have to read the whole thing because
This
it's
is
just
It's a long one.
it's long. But I always love the opening. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge I cremated Sam McGee. And I can keep going if you want, because it actually mentions Christmas, so this could become a Christmas episode.
We're just hitting all of it.
I think we can recite the entire thing at the end of the podcast.
Okay, so we will finish we will finish the podcast with the rest of the cremation of Sam McGee. We'll wind that down.
Todd, good luck, and
Don't get cremated. Don't lose any toes.
Don't
swallow any
the
toes?
toe.
please come back with a certificate.
Yes, so no swallowing the toe.
So back in the Halloween topics, as long as we're horrifying each other, Merlin, I came across this at an antique mall the other week. I did not purchase it, although I was tempted to. This was a kitchen item I found.
Crescent Mapeline Imitation Maple. What the fuck?
Oh, I remember this.
What the hell? Contains water, alcohol, non-maple vegetable extractives, vanillin. Instead of vanilla, it's not vanilla, it's vanillin. Caramel color. Why doesn't it just have arsenic in it?
I couldn't find a more horrifying thing to share with a northerner than fake maple syrup.
What the
You were
hell?
so correct about how this was going to go.
Listen, I'm already
Nicely
having like
done.
a time of it with the fact that I can't find my Tim Hortons coffee right now because Giant seems to have stopped carrying the bags of it. So
Drinking my Tim Hortons tea in my Tim
yeah,
Hortons mug.
if you see any Tim Hortons coffee anywhere, please grab it. If anybody's listening and you have access to Tim Hortons coffee, you can mail it to 40 North Queen Street, Littlestown, PA, 17340. You can put Merlin's Barn on it, or Merlin Hanson, or Hanson Mechanical Restorations, or
That coffee guy.
that guy who desperately needs Tim Hortons coffee, and I'm pretty darn sure it'll get here.
He prefers the dark roast, by the way.
Yeah, but why would anybody... Well, I guess this is on the level of horror of just most of the fake syrup that's out there that everybody thinks, like Log Cabin or what used to be Aunt Jemima and now is like some pearl milling company or something like that. Except that, what is vanillin? I mean, obviously they're doing a truth in advertising and they don't have actual vanilla, but what is vanillin?
That's a new one I made. I do like the caramel color, though, because, yeah.
We got the color right, but the rest of it, good luck. And the consistency is, well, it's sort of slow.
And it's like a concentrate that flavors 1 pint of delicious syrup. So it's not even an entire thing of fake maple syrup. It's like a fake maple syrup concentrate.
So essentially, it's cosmoline with vanillin in it.
Okay.
Oh.
So, I have an understanding.
You do?
So,
I
yes.
don't. I have absolutely no understanding.
Well, I have the autism that makes me go and research all the weird little bits.
Where are we going and why am I in this basket?
Whee! Anywhoosie. So, vanillin is the particular molecule that gives vanilla the flavor, the smell. Vanilla is actually a spice blend of sorts. So vanillin is... So what we have as vanilla extract is vanillin mixed with a few other things to get that particular flavor that we all know, love, and crave. But where it all stems from is that molecule vanillin.
We really need to get on video because I think my facial expressions were worth recording right there. And I think we need video just for the occasion I do that and for all the occasions. Where, in fact, video will probably just be a camera pointed at Nicole and occasionally swerved around to look at the rest of us.
Pretty much.
All right. So, thank you for that travesty.
Merlin
that
has
nightmare.
horrified us with toe whiskey, and I've horrified Merlin with fake maple syrup concentrate.
I'm just surprised there's not like asbestos and arsenic in there. I mean, why not just go for it if you're going to make something that horrific?
But I think Tasha and Nicole might have a rant about plastic skeletons.
Wait a sec. I got something even further, though, first. You take that vanillin, you mix it in with gelatin, and then you
Don't
make
forget
yourself...
gelatin, dear God.
Then you throw in some sausages and pancakes.
No!
And you can have your Jell-O breakfast.
I understand that was loud and I apologize, but no. Jesus freaking Christ.
We need to
no.
do this.
No.
We need to do this.
No, it's going to eat through the floorboards.
No, that was the horseradish,
I don't
already
care.
happened once.
which did eat through
I'm
the
not allowed
bags.
to make gelatin dishes anymore.
Okay, so folks,
you are not.
we would
We've
absolutely...
really gone with the trick versus the treat part of this.
I would
whole
absolutely
Nicely
adore
episode.
seeing a picture of one of those like bundt cake formed gelatins that is maple caramel colored with like pancakes and sausages floating in it.
That
And
sounds
I will find
like
out
flowing
some.
chunks.
I'll send you some sort of Jeep part from the shelves or something like that if we get a picture of you actually eating it.
I'm not sure about the pancakes, but I could get behind the sausage part.
What?
in Jell-O?
Little Jimmy Dean sausages?
Yeah, well, Jimmy Dean sausages and some bits of pancake, maybe waffle.
I don't know about the pancake or waffle, but the sausage will work,
Come
I think.
on, go for it.
In
We're just
Jell-O?
The pancake works better.
Everything goes in Jell-O.
That
well, it's maple Jell-O now.
In Jell-O?
We're doing maple Jell-O.
I can understand the pancake and the Jell-O. I can't do meat.
This will be the
Jell-O.
freaking breakfast of
No.
champions.
Well, do you want to sprinkle some bacon on top of it too?
Oh, no, don't put it on top of it. You put it in it with everything else floating around being happy.
Crunchy Jell-O.
But why? Wait a sec. This brings up another issue. Do you eat crunchy bacon?
Depends. I'm imagining, well, I go both ways with the bacon, but I'm imagining in this scenario that the bacon would be like the bacon bits, kind of like crunchy little pieces.
Oh, okay. I can see
That's
that.
the only way it's going
I can sort of see that.
work texturally in the Jell-O.
Should we do some scrambled eggs in there?
Chewy
Or is
bacon.
that
No,
or is that
oh, that
going
just
too
made
far?
it worse. No.
Nope. At this point, I'm actually agreeing with Tasha. No to the eggs.
How about a toe?
The toe's better than the eggs.
Toe. Oh, wait.
I'm
Have
having
you...
a lot of like sensorial like
We
texture.
we may have to dial it back. We might start losing members of the podcast. And I don't mean
Lose
listeners.
me.
I mean podcasters. We might be losing.
Podcasters.
Yeah. You might have to dial it back.
I'm short on whiskey. If you want to go refill me and recover, you can hyperventilate upstairs while
I don't like that I'm hyperventilating because
getting more whiskey.
This is
I'm
the
going
point.
to finish the whiskey if I go up there.
This is the point where
We do have a toe in the candy dish too, because that's our sort of
This
place.
is the part of the episode where audio guy John inserts that technical difficulties sound on the television.
This is the part of the episode
we
where
take a
audio
pause.
guy John decides no more, and he's like a
He just
bottle
quits
in
us?
of his really nice whiskey and realizes that he might have better things he could do, like just take his Jeep for a drive and take a brief nice breath.
So can we rant about plastic skeletons now?
There's a pair
got
of plastic
no
skeletons on
body.
the way to work that are crawling out of the ground, and they have changing conversations.
It's really cute.
Oh, that's
It's
kind of cool.
wonderful.
I do love what people do with like the skeletons and like the scenes and how they keep changing them.
Yeah,
I think their neighbors now have like a poker table of skeletons.
Yeah, they
Oh,
did.
oh,
With
wow.
like beers and poker.
So you got like the 12-foot skeleton
I never
standing in
tire
the
of
1
those.
yard,
I love those.
and then there's what looks like it's much bigger than the 12-foot skeleton
But it's only,
emerging
like,
from the
rib
ground. So
cage
it's like
up.
it's like rib cage up. And then you have the normal-sized ones doing the poker table next door. I'm wondering how much more of the neighborhood it's in Glendon.
I appreciate that it's become a topic of lunch discussion for my boss and I.
I appreciate that it also does not involve any of the blow-up things. I feel like it's too easy to fill your lawn with blow-up things, but skeletons posed in doing interesting things.
The other day we had a horde of them coming down a hill.
Where was that?
Shrewsbury.
I don't remember Shrewsbury.
We were dropping stuff off at the one auto place. Treasured motor cars.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it was not a horde, though. It was 4.
Hey, it gave enough of an impression because they were large and coming down a
Yeah,
hill at you.
they were
It was
12-foot
kind of
skeletons.
It's all going in the same direction. It's kind of bordering on horde.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's like, but I mean, what is the number that is horde? I mean, earlier today, I was teaching a class and I looked out and there were 3 crows. And I was like, oh, an
That's a murder. That's different.
No, that's an attempted murder. What is the number for an actual murder?
Is this an actual thing? Is it really?
Well, there's like a murder of crows, but if you don't have a murder of crows and you just have a couple of crows, then it's an attempted murder because it's not a murder.
But, so 2
Can you drag
crows
people- can
is
you-
an attempted murder. If you have more than 3, that is a grouping, therefore it is a murder.
Well, it was only 3 at first. And
It's got to at least be manslaughter.
I completely...
Thank you. You see?
I
See?
completely confused the kids because I walked up. I was like, I walked out of the window and went crows, and then I went, oh, a murder, and the kids were like, what? And I said, oh, no, it's just attempted murder. And then all of a sudden 5 more crows appeared. I was like, nope, it's a
It's
murder now.
murder.
It's a murder
Definitely
now.
murder. That's
Which
definitely
point I
murder.
had like
There's
5.
8 crows. That's certainly murder.
I am horrible at actually having reading periods in my library because as I honestly tell the kids, I'm more distractible than they are. So
The way you describe them on the way home, though, makes it sound like they're actually going correctly.
what's that?
The reading periods, the truth comes out.
I'm so confused.
You didn't tell me about the crows on the way home, but you told me you had a reading period and
Yeah.
made children read.
Yes, yeah, I made them read. And then I distracted them with crows. The Nerf guns have not come out yet. So back to your skeletons.
So I think they do a pretty good job at the human skeletons, but some of the animal skeletons have extra bits that wouldn't be there.
Cartilage. So
Ears.
much useless cartilage. Nicole?
Sometimes hair. Like I don't know why
That-
they put the tails on the horses.
Make it look like a horse.
It's usually the smaller ones. It's usually
They also do the,
the
wrong
smaller
skull
the
shape.
yeah, the smaller the skeleton, the worse it is. Because if you get the big ones, I guess
Well, if
they
it's
figure you're spending money, they'll give you a more correct skeleton. But if you get a little one, I've never seen one in person, but apparently out there's a octopus that is a
oh, I
skeleton.
have seen that.
I've seen pictures. I've never met one in person.
Well, you see, it's because it's at Michael's. I've seen it at work.
Oh no, it does exist. Okay.
It's interesting because
We saw a cat skeleton with ears at the grocery store.
There's a
other
lot of
day.
those too. Our big things were cat and dog skeletons this year. They're really cute, and you're so lucky I didn't come home with more things than I did from the Halloween collection. You're so lucky.
we have like a mortgage to pay, cats to feed, Food to feed ourselves, gas to buy to get to work.
Yeah, but 30% off Halloween decorations.
Still, we have a mortgage to pay, cats to
But
feed,
if you're
ourselves
at
to
a Tractor
feed.
Supply, you can get a 6-foot tall rooster skeleton with the crown and the what do you call the waddle? Whatever you.
I guess
whatever
it's a
you call
waddle
it.
on a turkey.
It has things that should not
Yeah.
exist on a
No,
skeleton.
because
and-
that's flesh that decomposes quite quickly.
I know, but
like-
it's a skeleton.
Not if you
rooster
are
with
the
things that are-
uber chicken.
I can understand from the standpoint of like,
And it's
say,
6 foot tall.
the smaller like horses, like if it's like, I don't know, smaller than pony sized, maybe there's a chance of fossilization.
Thinking like
So
12-foot skeletons, 6-foot chicken, Christmas
Rooster.
lights, middle of our field.
It's a rooster.
Rooster, okay. 6-foot chicken, 12-foot skeleton.
Like since we're going the extreme route with the sizing, these things wouldn't fossilize.
You can also order those and send them to the same address I asked you to send Tim Hortons to earlier.
That would be appreciated by both of us, actually.
More than Tim Hortons, though. I need Tim Hortons.
I want skeletons more.
Tim Hortons.
Skeletons.
Tim Hortons.
Skeletons.
All right, so where were we going with this?
I guess we're eventually going to work our way towards skeletal cats and rats and other things.
I did get one of the really cute skeleton cats from work. I did do that.
We had a skeletal cat once.
You did.
It doesn't sound good, though. That doesn't sound like a cute thing to
It's
be.
Mr. Bones.
Yeah, that's
Mr.
Yes, the cat was named Mr. Bones. I'll let Nicole tell a story since I was overseas at the time.
All right. So that was overseas in one of the stands. And my sister decided her brilliant idea was to. We had had a mother cat give birth to kittens somewhere in the yard, and the kittens were breaking into the trash. So to counteract this, my sister thought a wonderful idea would be to feed the kittens. So she was leaving canned food out for the cats. Well, this attracted a different stray cat, a little male that we eventually named Mr. Bones. Unfortunately, he got that name because he was skin and bones.
Oh, no.
He was a petite, medium hair, orange male. I think he was male. And we felt really bad for him. He was covered in fleas. He was emaciated. But he decided that he now lived with us. We just had to deal with it because he now lived with us. I still remember my sister going outside because she smoked at the time, and she was going to go outside. She goes, "Nikki, come quick, come quick." I'm like, "What?" "There's a cat trying to break into the house." "There's a what?" So I go out, and that's when we meet Mr. Bones.
I like the phrasing of break in.
He did. He was trying to break in.
To a house that had, what, an 80-pound Shepherd Lab mix
Yes, we had George and Kira at the time.
and another German Shepherd that was 80 pounds plus.
But Kira didn't count. She would not have hurt the kitty. She was very confused by the kitty.
No, but there's 160, 180 pounds of dog in the house that the cat is trying to go into.
Mr. Bones did not care. It was his house now. So, we take him to the vet. We find out he's been declawed. And I had and I had actually, now that he was living with us, I realized I had seen him on the street earlier. Unfortunately, Mr. Bones, I believe, was abandoned one way or the other. Either somebody in the neighborhood had moved out and left him behind, or somebody just dropped him off and left him. But he was with us now, and we took care of him. We had him for 3 more years. He was a senior. I think the vet said he was at least 15.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
So he
Didn't
lived,
realize that.
This
he
cat
lived with us for 3 years. We called him Mr. Bones.
this cat's D&D character had maximized his moxie.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, he came to live with us. There's one altercation where I basically told our big male George, our big dog, he was thinking about going after the cat, and I threatened him and said, "Don't you dare!" And he went, "Okay, mother, I will never touch the kitty again." or never think about touching the kitty. And George was really good with him after that. So he got to live in the house. He loved men with beards. I don't know why, but if somebody came over and they were a slightly portly fellow with a beard.
Yes. Several of my friends were at the time.
So he had a Santa Claus fixation?
Yes.
There we go.
That was a phrase.
Santa Claus fixation?
No, thank you. Please stop.
Santa Claus fixation.
He liked beards. He liked men with beards. I don't know why.
That's just Tim Allen.
And he would, any other cat near the house, he would hiss at them, and he was pretty intimidating. But he was so small. Aww. He was so petite. But he made up for it with personality.
I realized that rescued seniors tend to do that, like make up with personality, whether it be in a good or not as great way.
He was a great kitty.
Because we had Yari, who, he was a little older when we rescued him. He was a Shiba Inu. Literally, like, we go to the shelter. I, small child, middle schooler in anime phase, and just like, parents, there's a Shiba Inu. That's my dog. That's my dog. And I'm spitting.
Those are unusual. You don't see them you don't see them very often.
No, you don't. So it's really wild to find one in the shelter. And I'm out here like spitting Shiba Inu facts like, parents, I have to have this dog. And he's like great on the leash when we take him out. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to bring him back inside because he had just gotten to the shelter. Mm-hmm. And they needed to like finish doing their full check over, but they still allowed us to see him, which was pretty cool. Not wanting to be abandoned again, he kind of went and bit my dad.
Yeah, your dad's had choice words about that dog.
Yes, everyone has. But I also held on to the bitter frickin' end because that was my dog. So he never fully trusted people. For whatever it's worth, we did have a animal communication psychic, for lack of a better word, that connected with him. And I'm pretty sure, like, from the physical signs I was seeing from Yari during the conversations, that there was an actual connection made. Like, despite it being, like, over, like, I think we did one via phone when I first adopted him. And the day we realized it was time to say goodbye, we did it via Zoom. But, like, even, like, while I was, like, holding him on this call, like, he still, like, lifted his head as much as he could, like, realizing that someone was, like, reaching out, I guess.
Oh.
I can't remember her last name, but her name's Miranda. She was amazing. And, like, during the first call, when she pointed out specific vertebrae that had been injured by people. When he was younger, the vet had did an x-ray a couple weeks later, and it was confirmed. Like, these are the injured vertebrae. That's also about where his back, like, curved out of whack when he got older. But he did have a slight personality shift after, like, that first conversation with Miranda, where he calmed down a little bit, but he was just never fully able to trust.
Yeah, and if he was abused at some point, then...
Yeah, but I think the big point that I wanted to come back around to, especially connecting him to Mr. Bones, is just, like, when you do everything for a creature that you know has had a really rough go the first half of their life, and even if it's just, like, 3 years like Mr. Bones, or I think Yari was, like, I had him for maybe 7 years. He passed during COVID. Like, doing everything you can to make whatever time they have left, like, the most amazing love they've ever felt.
Yeah. I don't think Mr. Bones was ever abused. I think what just happened is, because he passed away when we found out he had liver cancer.
Right.
And we had him for 3 years, and I think what happened is they got that diagnosis. And I'm just speculating because I have no idea. And they're like, we can't. And they failed him at that moment and just, okay, instead of maybe saying goodbye to him, they just went, okay, you're on your own, buddy.
Yeah.
wanting to just let nature take its course, and
Sometimes-
Mr. Bones was not going to go quietly into the
Well,
night.
that was
No.
we were talking with the
He already
humanes.
went screaming. Shiba Inu.
Oh.
Well, Shiba Inu
Oh,
scream,
Shibas.
and so he had doggy dementia basically. So he had doggy sundowners. So he would scream all night. But because he was my dog, I would stay up with him and like sing to him. And my parents put up with it because they're like, well, that's their dog. That, like, giving everything you can for that creature you know didn't have a good start. Like, I don't know. That's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think that one animal I know. Pause. Okay, there we go. I had a friend down in Virginia who was helping restore the center of the center of a town, Bill Max,
Yeah.
and he had the first place he bought was this will tie into the dog in a second. A general store with a house attached to it and a little Cape Cod next to that, and he fixed up the houses and rented them out. And then he bought the general store across the street and the matching Cape Cod house next to that. He had horrific. I mean, you can't use the word luck. He just had. It was just he had horrific experiences with renters, and the second general store with the house next to it. They went in after having the people evicted, and I mean the refrigerator was so bad that they had to. This fits on like horror stories. The refrigerator was so roach infested.
Oh.
They were actually in the insulation in the refrigerator. And
Wow.
they knew there was a dog, and so they heard noises upstairs, and he ends up having to push open the door to a bedroom that was filled with shit. And there was this pit bull in there, Rockhead Rocky, and that dog, so Bill got the pit bull out of there. He was not in the market for a dog, but that dog worshipped the ground that he walked on.
Yeah.
The problem was he'd been so abused by the people that he attacked one of our friends. Like I was down there and he'd attacked our friend Rick, and I think Rick had to go to the hospital and get stitches. And then I was down there, and now Father Navicki, actually, I was talking with him this weekend, and he said he actually didn't have a problem with Rocky, but always did a slow approach. I don't remember what I did with Rocky the one day. I think I'd actually gotten too comfortable with him and went to pet him as I was walking by, and he got my hand.
Yeah.
And went inside, and Bill's wife Nancy was helping me patch up my hand, and I heard the slide of a pistol, and he's headed towards the door with his .45. Now Bill's an old Marine. And I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "He says I'm not having this dog. Send somebody else to the hospital." Which I understood, and some people are going to be judgmental and react and stuff like that. But listen, the dog had attacked a couple people, but at the same time, they lived in a very rural area. So I was talking with Bill, and I said, you know, the dog worships the ground you walk on. He's totally fine as long as there's not weird people around. Just make sure he's not near anybody. And as far as I understand, the dog lived out its days happily with Bill, because I've seen pictures of it. I was down there, I would see Bill go driving by in his World War II Jeep with this ecstatic pit bull that worshipped the ground he walked on. And I'm just glad that dog got to live out that.
Exactly.
And that and not be put down. Get some joy out of life.
Right.
He had Bill, so that's amazing.
Well, I guess if we're going to talk about mentally unstable dogs, we have to mention our dog Theo.
We have to? Okay.
Theo doesn't like me, but I love him.
It's not personal.
Oh, I know.
He doesn't like anybody.
I was going to say I don't think Theo likes anybody.
It's a combination of, I think, a little bit of his just how he was born, the fact that, you know, he was not properly socialized, and a little bit of his breeding. I think it's just kind of a combination of factors, and my solution is just to avoid people. He's lunged at a couple people, but he only ever bit Cody's gonna love this one. He only ever bit one of our friends once, and he only got the pants leg. But he's never actually bitten anybody.
All right, my brother's gonna kill me if he ever hears this. I'm gonna bring up something that's very similar, but one of our aunts and uncles used to have a Great Dane.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Bella. Once again, another dog that really rough start of life, worshipped the ground my uncle walked on. That was her person. And we're little, and my brother, he was probably 5, maybe 3. He was a little kid. And he was goofing off and jumps on my uncle, and Bella lunges. And we knew she was skittish, but that took us all by surprise. Because she did end up biting his butt and tearing his pants. I apologize, Spencer, but I can't not.
Well, Spencer was tiny at the time.
He was. I'm pretty sure that in the moment, though, I did laugh. So I was like, you just got your ass bit by a dog and shredded.
It's like a brother-sister thing.
Yeah,
Exactly, yes.
yeah.
So, on the topic of rescuing animals and tying it back to Halloween, you have a rat.
Tilly!
I guess we could throw the rat in any
How
other
can you
animals.
not throw the rat in there?
Rat distribution system, babe.
We've got skeletons and skeletal cats, and we've got horrifying fake maple syrup, and and terrifying drinks out of the Canada, and rats. I mean,
Yeah, but she's friendly. I'm used to rats.
Because you had monkey originally.
but many people don't understand this.
Yeah,
That's true.
I
Many
had.
people don't understand rats.
But she's a
Pet
pet
rats.
rat.
I mean,
She's not a Baltimore rat.
I've had 3 experiences with rats. I mean, the first one
Baltimore
was
rats are a different type of rat.
well, the first one
But
was
have you seen a Jersey rat?
No, I've not. Oh, are they another category rat?
Oh my god.
the first one was Baltimore rats, which was I remember my first wife talking about one of those. We lived in Hamden, and she was going through one intersection, and she came home. She said, "I saw a big bald guy crying, being chased by a rat earlier."
Jesus!
No, that was down in Little Italy. She saw that. I said, "What?" She says, "Yeah, big." She says, "Bigger than." She says, "Bigger than you," and then pointing at me, and I'm 6'1". And she goes, "Yeah, he was running across the road, and this giant rat was chasing him, and he was crying as he ran." And I'm like, "What the hell?" And my first real Baltimore rat experience was we had a row house in Hamden, and we had this little single car garage that would have fit a Ford Model T or a Festiva, maybe a Geo in it. And so I was doing woodwork back there, and I had the heater out. And I go inside to get a cup of coffee because I live off of coffee. And I come back out, and there's a bunch of rags made into a little nest next to the heater in the 5 minutes I was inside. I look at that going, that's weird. I don't think I did that. I might be going crazy. So I picked up the rags, put them on the workbench, probably put them in a bucket or something. Went back to stripping paint off this mantelpiece. And 45 minutes later, an hour later, I go back inside for another cup of coffee. And I come out, and all the plastic bags in the shop have been pulled up near this little Perfection heater, like the kerosene heaters you have, Matt. And there's another nest. I'm like, all right, definitely didn't do that. What is doing this? And so I went inside, got some bread, removed the plastic nest, and just put the bread down by the heater. Stepped outside for a minute, come back, bread's gone. I'm like, all right. Something that size got to be a rat, because if it's moving those rags and those bags and stuff like that. And so I got a broom out and started batting around the walls. And this rat pops up on top of one of my workbenches. And he stands there on his hind legs and stares at me. And I stood there with my broom and stared at him. And I said, well, we got to talk. And I swear he understood English because he was very engaged in the conversation. I said to him, we have 2 options. I said, 1, I beat you to death with this broom, which I don't want to do because it's going to be a mess and there's going to be blood on the broom and I'm going to have to clean this up. And then I pointed over at the door. I said, or you can go out that door, because I had these two sort of barn doors and one of them was cracked open about 4 feet. I said, and you can go up the alley to the neighbor's house where they have a broken window in the basement. I said, so got to choose. And he pointedly looks
A
over.
plague of rats upon ye home.
The neighbors and I didn't get along too well.
See? Rats.
And so he stares at the broom, stares at the door, stares at me, looks over at the door again, looks at me one more time, and then gets down on all fours, nonchalantly climbs down the leg of the workbench, walks slowly past me, and out the door.
I can just imagine his little rat butt.
Yep, just out the door, and I walked down to the door, and he had climbed over the flower pots and was going up the alley. So, pretty sure he spoke English. Second rat experience was monkey. That was one where my ex was going to PetSmart, and I made the mistake of saying, bring home something fluffy. And so she comes home an hour later with this little perforated box. And I said, and the cat food that we needed. And I said, oh God, what's that? And she said, well, you said bring home something fluffy. She said, this is monkey.
Oh.
I hadn't even seen what was in the container yet. And she opens it up, and monkey was a Dumbo rat where their ears are sort of flat off to the side. And she was a little bit bug-eyed. Most adorable thing on the planet. In fact, the background on my laptop here is her trying to give her showing the cat Koth a piece of Cheez-It, which she loved, and she got him addicted to. And apparently nobody would buy her because she was so bug-eyed, which once again I thought was adorable.
I don't think she looked like terribly bug-eyed in the picture.
No, I didn't. I never did either. But so nobody bought. So she was older when we got her. Because nobody would buy her, and so that was how she was named a monkey by the staff because she was always hanging off of something.
Okay.
And so she was like, I'd never had a rat before. I'd had like gerbils and hamsters and things like that. I think a vole for about 2 days once because
That's a new one.
that's a whole other story. She just quickly. She just rode around on my shoulder all the time. She loved anything cheese. So if you had Cheez-Its, goldfish crackers, and her favorite thing to do was to if you gave her a cheese or a goldfish cracker, was to go running through the kitchen to the living room or the parlor and find one of the two fluffy cats, because there was a full-bred Maine Coon, which you look them up. They're very fluffy. They're actually more like having a roommate / forest sprite of some sort living with you. And then there was Koth, who is, I'm not sure what Koth is. He looks Maine Coonish. Koth is his own thing. So she would find one of the two floofy cats and show them her new thing and then burrow into their fur and lie there eating her Cheez-It or goldfish or a piece of cheddar. So yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah, if another thing we would do was if I went outside, I would just she would follow me out into the porch, and I have pictures of the chickens staring at her 'cause she'd come down the pathway, and I've had people go, "Weren't you worried about her running off?" It's like all she wanted to do was follow Dad around the yard. Mm-hmm. So I just made sure I was close enough so no giant bird came and got her. We'd have fire circles, and if you had a fire circle out in the farm, I'd bring her out and she'd sit on my shoulder, and then she'd get bored. And so what everybody got used to doing was she's getting bored or looking a little restless. You put out your arm to the person next to you, and she would just walk across your arm to the next person. And she'd go in a circle, person to person to person. She'd do that for an hour and a half until she fell asleep in somebody's hood on their hoodie.
Nice.
So we had her, and then now we have
Got a rat pretty recently.
Matilda, who this was in another episode. We'll get into the cat distribution system and all the other weird animals that appear. But in this case, was the hitherto unknown rat distribution system. And it was the day of our defenestration party. If you don't know what that is, you can go back and look at Substack because we have photos and videos there. There's also an episode about it further back. So it was the day of the defenestration party, and I had some friends helping with some gear in one of our trailers earlier in the day. And we have a very nice neighbor whose property backs up to the driveway to the barn, Dave, who has a beautiful garden. So we had neighbor Dave and my friend Dave Choate and his dog. What's Dave Choate's? And Zeno, Dave's dog Zeno, who is amazingly well behaved because Dave and I are standing there chatting in the driveway, and Zeno is intently staring up at the alley. And neighbor Dave goes, "Well, that's interesting." And we look up, and there's this little white rat. Walks out of the grass, walks across the pavement, and goes underneath a neighbor's porch. And Zeno is just sitting there, sort of head cocked, staring, which I'm amazed at. And so I'm like, yeah, that's not normal. And so go walking up to the porch, and this little white rat comes out and is sniffing around the clovers and chewing on a clover, and then and then looks at me and goes, no, and goes back into the porch. And I was just like, all right, not normal. Definitely not an alley rat, though. I'm not getting involved. But I did go in with the gut instinct that somehow or other I would get involved in this. I did go in and find a big Tupperware container and some cardboard, some masonite to slide under it in case I got sucked into this whole thing.
Just in case.
And Dave Choate, he and his dog went out around the neighborhood because he goes, some child has to be missing their pet. And so he goes around the neighborhood and he comes back. He says, Dave, he says, I got talking with one of the neighbors who was out mowing her lawn. And apparently people have been posting on the town Facebook page about this rat. And that she's been seen up at the antique shop. She's been seen at the post office. So she's been seen in a couple places. But nobody knows who she is.
Mind you, for a tiny creature, that's a distance to travel.
Yeah, and this was, she's full,
baby.
she's full rat size now, and there's no way she could escape through the bars of her cage. And the cage that we were given by another lady who lives in town, when we got it, she was so tiny, I was afraid she was going to get through the bars of the cage. So she was, how old do you think she was, like 4 weeks or something?
Probably something like that from when we were looking at sizing pictures.
Yeah, she was tiny, and she was scrappy because, as we would find later, because rat was out of the picture, go back to doing her thing. Friend Rick pulls in the driveway, and I'm walking around the side building to say hi to Rick, and neighbor Sal comes up, goes, Merlin! I was like, hey, Sal. And he says, are you missing a white rat? And I said, pardon? And he says, well, we've seen you... we've seen you and the other one. I said, Tosh. He goes, yes. He says, with different animals.
That's
so,
normal. Yeah, I am the other one.
Well, they're always trying to figure out daughter.
What is this creature?
And so he says, so we're wondering if with the different animals you've had, if you have a white rat. I said, no, why? He says, well, I wanted to come check with you because my wife is standing over there with a snow shovel about to kill it. And I was like, where? And he says, well, it's in the flower pot by our front door. So basically the back of our front door on the barn is really the old livestock office, which goes out to our driveway, which faces somebody's backyard. And his front door is the same. It's the back of the little barn that he lives in. So I walk over there, and sure enough, there's the little white rat again, just nuzzling around weeds around the flower pot, which then led into an epic chase. Where we were like Dave and Rick and I grabbed the Tupperware container and we chased her, and neighbor Dave was involved too. We chased her across the alley. By the way, this is not like a city alley. This is like, there's like nice lawns going up to it and stuff in some spots. So she goes across the alley into somebody's, it wasn't Hosta's, but it was some
was
sort of...
Was Yakety Sax playing while this was going on?
What's that?
Was Yakety Sax playing while this was happening?
That or Keystone Cops. Because she goes into these plants and we can't find her, and then neighbor Dave starts prodding carefully with the handle of his like rake, and she pops out and she goes running up.
Detecting.
Yeah, she goes running up underneath a car. So then we're surrounding the car. And then she goes shooting out from under the car and heads straight towards a 4-foot tall cinder block retaining wall. At which point, Rick's on one side, Dave Choate's on the other side, and I'm just going straight in with the container. And she's trying to jump straight up in the air, and I get her in the container and bring her up on the deck. At which point, we have Rat. And then we announce.
Gave her raspberries.
Yeah, we gave her things and some towels, and she actually just finally settled down and fell asleep. And we put out a notice to the town that the rat that everybody was worried about had been found, because there had been a lot of discussion of her on the town page, including even a video of her on the main street walking down from the main intersection in the center of town, and she was too small to climb up on the curb. So there's this great little video of her walking along, trying to climb up on the curb, staring directly at the person filming, and then continuing to walk down the sort of the gully. The result of that was, I mean, it was adorable. There's an entire town wound up over this rat.
And everyone was so happy when we were like, hey, she's safe. Like, that was everyone's main concern. Not like, oh, weird rat, and no one claimed her. So
We have no clue where she came
was
from.
just like, wow, we're also happy that there's good people out here who have, like, helped Little Rat. And through that, we had someone donate an enclosure to us. And she also was so incredibly helpful when, like, we discovered something to get Matilda while she was out on her ventures. And she had some sort of abscess. So she walked us through how to take care of that. And, like,
yeah, something
it
got
was a
something.
town effort in some ways.
Yeah, something got a hold of this little rat when she was on her adventure, and really gave her a good bite. So she's a scrappy little, but she's not so little anymore. She's like almost the size of the kitten. So
Yeah. She's a full-size rat now.
Yeah.
She plays with the cats. She plays tug of war with you.
yeah, she has a little rope, and I play tug of war with her, and then she'll take it from me and hide it in her cage, and I have to dig it out.
Very cute.
She'll very pointedly take it, look at me, and then go put it somewhere else in the cage, and then I steal it back. And we do this like 10 times.
So if you've never encountered a pet rat before, they're quite actually like intelligent and personable creatures
She is so clever.
with quite a bit of personality, and
Yeah, that is the biggest thing. A lot of personality and extremely intelligent, and she very quickly recognized that we were not a danger.
We were
And
picking her up, carrying her around just almost instantly.
yeah, so she was. Yeah, it only took a couple hours before she was
this
just.
is not like a gerbil or a pirate hamster.
No, which I'll get into some other time, because we're 52 minutes in, and that's the limit on the treadmill.
That's fair. I do want to say, so her name literally randomly popped in my head. Like, I think it was just after I saw her for the first time. And then I walked back outside. I was like, her name is Matilda. And it didn't hit me till later that Merlin's a librarian and I'm a teacher. And if you've seen the movie or read the book, who are the two people that Matilda, the little girl, goes to? The librarian and the teacher.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That's
It
cute.
took me a hot minute to, like, realize that. But I feel like Matilda, which also becomes Tilly sometimes, like, it just fits her so perfectly.
It becomes Tilly because the M reminds me of monkey, and then I start calling her monkey by mistake. I had decided I like rats. I wanted another rat, but after monkey, and monkey was about as big a personality as a Maine Coon is. I was just not. I'd look at them in the stores. There was one we almost picked up like a year ago.
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, Tchaikovsky. I really liked Tchaikovsky. He was another one that had been in a PetSmart for a while, and they named him. But yeah, so the universe decided that somehow or other we were getting a rat, whether Merlin was going to go to the store or not.
Yeah.
And I think with that, that's a lot longer than I expected.
That's quite all right.
We've done the full gamut from sourdough cocktails to skeleton rants to rescue animals, I believe. I think.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up with some poetry corner.
Do we want me to read that whole thing, or I can?
It may fall in after the closing music.
Or John could just go, no. Or I could suggest that people go read it.
Or I can record it separately.
Yeah, I could do that too. I think what I'll do is I'll do a separate recording of that
Yeah.
and put it up like on Instagram or something like
All
that.
of these are possible. See what
Yes.
happens next month.
Yeah, it's a choose your own adventure, or Merlin
We
can choose
the
his adventure. I don't choose the adventure.
I choose the adventure.
I definitely. Well, no, I'm not saying I'm against the adventure. I'm just saying I'm definitely not the one who's choosing it. I'm just along for the ride because it wasn't my plan to end up in a barn, but it's a really nice place and I like it.
I think John's going to choose this adventure for us.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you for listening. And if you're ever in Dawson City, which, by the way, is a hop, skip, and a jump from Chicken, Alaska. Which
Is that a real place?
it is a real place with a giant 20-foot chicken. The expression on Nicole's face is priceless.
That might be where Todd was flying from when it was with his layover.
All right. So, thank you for listening. Toodaloo. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. Happy New Year. Happy Easter.
Happy Halloween and Christmas.
Yes.
All of the above.
Talk to you later.
Take care, folks. Thanks for listening.